Hello.
Hi,
Hi.
Amber.
You Elm Street brats. How are you?
Welcome to our, let's see, what did we do? Quadro feature?
QUADRO feature.
4.
4.
We watched 4 Nightmare on Elm Street.
We watched 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's what? Freddy's Revenge, Dream Warriors, Dream Master, and the Dream Child.
The whole Dream Chronicle.
The Dream
Trilogy. What's the difference between a trilogy and a chronicle?
I don't know. Because there's 3
Yeah.
in a trilogy.
Can a chronicle be any amount?
I think so.
The Chronicles of Narnia.
The Chronic... What?
Coals of Narnia. I love that too. You could call us Aaron Burr from the Wayward Dropping Hamiltons.
Oh, it's good.
It is good. It's
so,
you know what? Chris Parnell should be in more raps.
Yeah, I miss Chris Parnell.
Yeah.
Huh.
Do you watch Archer?
I do sometimes, but not like religiously.
Yeah, I used to watch it all the time for the first 3 seasons probably, and but he's a voice now.
Oh, okay.
That's why. He's Cyril.
So part 2.
Part 2.
We'll start there.
Let's start where we started.
Start at the
second
one,
to the beginning.
It's not because we watched the
Because we watched
already.
the first one already.
So it's the gayest Nightmare on Elm Street.
Right.
It is gay.
It's gay. It's not like, I wonder if this is gay, or like, this is kind of gay.
You can't...
It's just literally an
deny how
openly
gay it is.
gay film.
Yes.
It's just an openly gay film where at the end, very unfortunately, heterosexuality wins out.
Keep the girl.
Keep the girl.
Keep the girl. That was Wes Craven's
Wes Craven.
words of advice to director Jack Shoulder when he was stuck with the ending. Keep the girl. So Mark Patton plays Jesse Walsh, who just moved into Nancy Thompson's house.
Yes. She's good. We like her.
Yeah. Wait.
Him. He's good. We like him. I love his clothing.
We love her.
He dresses impeccably. Somewhat just because the 80s were just a time of fashion.
Yeah.
And throughout the ones that we've watched so far, they've all been very fashionable.
Yeah.
Very fashion forward.
80s.
So that's fun to watch, and also fun to see like where you got your sense of style from.
Yeah.
His sense of style is from Nightmare on Elm Street.
And I was just, and then like, I mean,
And
everything's
Girls.
like new wave.
Yeah.
And hair metal, and that's me. That's my aesthetic.
That's,
In a nutshell.
That's your brand.
Yeah. My brand. This
Your
is
brand.
my brand.
Yeah. On theme. On brand.
I loved when you asked me, when is it gonna get gay? And then it just immediately got gay.
It was gay right from the start.
Right from the beginning. I mean, there's boy butts, there's...
Just like in real life, you can just be gay right from the start.
Just like...
You just come out, because that's the
a
way
wonderful
you are.
dance scene.
Oh,
that
so good.
It's just wonderful. Dancing was very
With like
popular
a
in 1985.
drumstick or something.
Yeah, one of those like pop
Yeah, what was
things.
that?
It's one of those pop toys.
Like the Christmas ones?
Yeah, it's like, but it has the ball and it pops out the ball. It's like one of those.
Lots of thrusting with it.
Lots of thrusting. He lets the ball pop. Then he gets caught by his best
Mom.
Judy, his mom, and his best Judy, his best friend.
/ love interest.
It's murky. I just think they really love each other as friends.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's nice.
Because I'm gonna go ahead and say awkward scene with them being more than friends.
Yeah, I think he's supposed to be like going down on her.
But he's not. He's here.
He's here.
He's in this
and
area.
he's just kind of...
He doesn't. He's not interested.
It's just very awkward. He screams. He is a scream queen.
Yeah. He screams like Ned Flanders screams, which might only mean something to me. But
it's
like,
incredible. It's incredible.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, there's the gay bar.
Yeah, the
and the
PE
coach.
teacher who's into S&M.
Yeah. And the screenwriter and the director of this movie and like other people who worked on it are like, we had no idea it was so gay.
Impossible.
And the guy who was working on the shower scene was like, I just had no idea how gay this was.
Impossible.
And I'm like, really?
Impossible.
Balls fly at his face. He gets whipped
like,
with towels with his bare ass.
Well, he's like
spread eagle in the shower.
After coming home from the gay bar.
Yeah, and his leather daddy outfit. This movie is so homosexual. It's just like he goes to that pool party, which like a lot of people hate because Freddy comes into like the real world and no one's dreaming. But it's one of my favorite parts.
I like it too.
I love when the guy like is trying to talk to him, and he's like, "I can help you," and he's just like, "Help yourself, fucker."
Bitch.
Wait,
is 2 the first bitch or is 3?
3. Does he say bitch? He might say it
in the second one.
In the second one, but 3 is when it like
really takes off.
Because I think he says it 5 times in 3 after he says it the first time. At
he's
least twice.
Into it several times.
And then the 5th one he says it a few times. 4th one he says it.
Yeah.
6th one he goes fucking ape shit with bitch.
So that's our next one. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can add 1 plus 4.
I mean,
5.
Jesse leaves the party that Lisa's throwing. Lisa,
get out of there.
That Lisa's throwing.
We love Lisa.
We love a Lisa. Just big stands of Lisa.
Just a real,
he goes to Grady's and Grady's like, and you want to sleep with me?
Yeah.
And I'm like, this movie is gay.
He leaves making out with her.
He's going down on her.
And it's like, I gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
Which
that
we all
tongue
agree.
Comes out.
Yeah.
That phallic Freddy Krueger tongue.
The dick poop tongue.
Yeah. That comes out.
The Alaskan pipeline in his mouth.
I love this movie. I think it's great.
Yeah.
It's gotten
really
so much
like
shit. It gets so much shit. It was treated like a franchise killer when it was the second movie.
Which is ridiculous. There are so many of them.
It made more than the first one.
I really liked it. I can see, like, if you watch the franchise, how 1 and 3 go together really well. But I liked how 2 went with 1 also.
I think 2 goes with 1. It's a bit of an outlier with the rest of the series.
How do they bring back Freddy in 2?
He comes through Jesse. So he's possessing Jesse.
From the house.
From the house. And the glove. I think there's like the house, the glove, and like possibly the diary. Because he reads Nancy's diary.
Yes.
And so he like knows the history.
Right.
So
that, and then Lisa also reads Nancy's diary. And is like trying to explain to him why things are happening the way they are based on the diary.
Yeah.
And every page of the diary has 2 to 3 words on it.
Yeah. I've always been like...
It says here, Freddy hides in my dreams.
And like...
Writing with Sharpie.
And I love it. Like, I love that whole little thing, like, plot device. Like, here's Nancy's diary. But when did Nancy write in her diary?
Right.
There's important information in there.
Yeah.
Like about Glenn and stuff. And I'm like, when did she write
When did she have time? It was running around and almost dying. And then the dying.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's great.
All of the dying.
And then like that.
And her mom.
I mean, and we would be remiss if we did not mention that Lisa is played by a young Meryl Streep.
Oh my gosh,
her name
it's
is Kim
crazy.
Myers.
She looks so much like Meryl Streep. It is insane.
In the documentary, they talk about hiring her there, and they were just like, you know, she was just like a really great actress, and she looks exactly like Meryl Streep. And it's like, well, of course,
you're hired.
Um,
we like to play that this actor looks like this person young, and so this was this was really fun for us because
she's not terrible in it.
I thought she was good.
She's not, the main interest.
She's unconventionally attractive.
Yeah, like
Meryl Streep. And so I don't have a problem believing that she would just be hanging out best friends with a gay guy.
Right.
Because high school might not really be her time.
Right. She just seems like that like fruit fly girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People think fag hag is offensive. So.
Oh, we're switching that to fruit
yeah,
because
some people
calling gay people fruit, that's not offensive at
well,
all.
You're happy with I think that. People do get offended by like fag, obviously, but it's the hag part.
Oh. Women are mad.
It's the hag part.
Women are like, quit calling me a hag. I don't have to be ugly
for some reasons is better.
I'd rather be an insect that lives seconds, hours, whatever. Annoying, pesky insect that everybody hates and is hard to get rid of. Woke culture.
Yeah, so heterosexuality wins out in the end.
Because she saves his life,
yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
But does she? Because then he's just imprisoned.
I just think he's still gay.
Yeah. I hope that he, in the storyline, would have lived a happy gay life.
I guess there's two ways you can read it, is that Freddy is his gayness coming through.
Oh, and then Freddy would be gay, and you were saying that people have a problem with that, which doesn't make any sense to me.
People have a problem with Freddy, like...
across the board.
Being
I think
gay.
that Freddy has very little sexual preference. He's just into it. And he's a child murderer. He's a child murderer. Murderer. So,
Or, like, is Jesse just gay?
Jesse seems gay.
Jesse's just gay, and, like, Freddy
I guess Freddy's
is his,
in
like...
him at the
is
beginning.
his heterosexuality.
It seemed like in...
trying to take
right.
back.
It seemed like in the beginning, he had already been suffering from nightmares regardless of the house. Because his sister was like, why can't he just wake up like a normal
But I feel like they've also been living in that house for like a month. So
yeah.
maybe...
It's been,
and he
his
still
dad
hasn't
is an
his
asshole. We don't like his dad. We don't like him.
Bogey. Clu Gulager is his dad.
Clu Gulager.
A Hollywood legend. Clu Gulager.
Clu Gulager.
It's so hard to say. Clu Gulager.
Clu Gulager.
But, like, he's really great. If you watch the documentaries, like, he loves Mark Patton. And I love that. Like, he's really close with him.
Oh, that's nice.
It's
so in
it
real
seems
life,
like they
he's
kind of
not
stayed
an
in touch.
asshole.
No.
That's nice.
And the coach is, like,
Blue.
really great in real life. Like, he's like, how did you not know this was gay, Jack? Everyone knew this was gay. And I'm like, yay.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for being obvious and right.
So, that was 1985. They skipped a couple years.
So first, when the first movie came out, there was that huge child molestation ring.
Yes.
And then at the height of the AIDS pandemic, they really... Right? That's a pandemic also,
yes.
I would say.
Yes. I don't think it was ever called one. Was it maybe?
I don't know how many people have died of AIDS, but probably more than 200,000 people in America. But I don't know. But in a longer time.
So that was definitely a pandemic.
But yeah, pandemic. So in the middle of right at the beginning of the AIDS pandemic, then they have a gay one, which is like good for them, but also bad probably financially, and so they didn't say that it was a gay one. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, well, apparently no one knew.
Impossible. Impossible. Everybody stopped this video and watched.
So the first one came out like November of '84, and then I think this one came out a year later. Yeah. And the first one made $25 million. This one made $29 million in 1985 on like a $5 million budget or something. $2 million.
You know what? The effects on the Nightmare on Elm Street are so much better. I cannot get over how much better the effects are on Nightmare on Elm Street than Friday the 13th. because the budgets aren't that dissimilar, it doesn't seem like. And
I think Friday the 13th has a lot going against it because so much was cut.
Nightmare on... Oh, yeah.
Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Is that what I meant?
Yes. No, you said it right.
Yeah. So I think so much was cut out of that stuff, and then they just had to do something.
But there's tons of gore in Nightmare on Elm Street.
And it's good.
And it's not cut.
When he comes out in part 2, when he comes out of Jesse...
Yeah.
It's amazing. The arms, the sweater appears, the eye, in the face, in the mouth, and like he just comes out of his stomach.
Comes on out of him.
It's wonderful.
He comes out of spoiler alert, someone in the
fifth one?
Alice in the fifth one. Also. Fifth.
Mm-hmm.
How do you say fifth?
Fifth?
Yeah. Like
fifth?
Fifth?
I don't say fifth.
That's what I was wondering.
Do you say fifth?
No, I say fifth.
Fifth.
I was just watching some murder show and they said this was the fifth murder. The fifth! And it was weird to hear someone enunciate how wrong they were saying.
No, it's fifth.
My niece said she was going into fifth grade, and I said fifth grade, and she said fifth grade. Nailed it. Fifth.
Well, don't squeeze the juice.
Don't squeeze the juice. Save the juice. OJ. Allegedly.
Yeah. That's her name is Olivia. Just.
Yeah, OJ.
We're not like.
Pro OJ.
Yeah.
I mean, we're pro my niece, but. OJ Simpson was an incredible football player.
So we love part 2. Yes. Allegedly.
Alive. He's alive. Still a bad person. Allegedly. Well, no, he's in prison.
But didn't he get out? I thought he got out.
But he was in prison for other things, he was still a bad.
Yeah, because he was stealing back his memorabilia.
Yeah.
From like a Vegas thing.
It's his. Not if you sell it.
And then he got on Twitter. I'm not on Twitter, so I don't know what's going on. But he got on Twitter to speak to the haters. And so I don't know what happened there.
He could just stop. He could stop. Yeah. Although good for him figuring out how to use the internet.
I know. I hate Twitter.
He's up there in the age range.
So we love.
So we love to. Love to.
We love to. We just.
3 is everybody's favorite, right?
Yes. So the Dream Warriors.
Patricia
Arquette.
It's actually not that dissimilar from True Romance. I know it's not the same movie at all, but it's got a Christian Slater and it's got her.
Rick.
Yeah. It has sort of similar characters.
Yeah. He definitely, I can see the Christian Slaterness in him.
He looks like him on purpose, I think.
I'm sure he does.
But no other real stuff.
Larry Fishburne.
Larry Fishburne. Lawrence F. Looking incredible.
I love Lawrence Fishburne, but I've never been attracted to Lawrence Fishburne.
No, and this,
except
I am telling you, I had no idea.
I am just
it's like when you see,
swallow me, destroy me.
Seriously, it's like when you see young Alec Baldwin for the first time and you're like, stop the presses. This is what Alec Baldwin. Those eyes. Anyway.
So Nancy's back.
So
we
love her.
Kristen. I feel like they call her both names.
People usually do. I think if your name
is it's Kristen.
You'll get a lot of different pronunciations of your name.
Is Patricia Arquette. Yeah. And she is streaming about Freddy. She's papier-mâché.
Papier-mâchéing the
Freddy Krueger's house. Or, 1428 Elm Street house.
Which we visited.
We've been there.
And it had a red door at the time.
Yeah.
Blue door garbage like the first one.
It looks so much better with a red door. So, she's
making this house randomly out of papier-mâché and popsicle sticks.
And then she goes into the house.
And so because the house is... But what I can't figure out is why she started having the dreams of the house.
Because she's an Elm Street child.
Where did she grow up?
In that, like, on Elm Street, in that neighborhood. Her mom was one of the people.
Oh, okay. So through her mom.
Yes. So he's coming back to exact revenge on all that.
Right, because her mom committed suicide. Don't they talk about
Nancy's did.
Nancy's mom.
Nancy's mom.
Which
killed herself in the living room.
Killed herself in the living room. She died in her sleep.
Yeah, Nancy says that as well.
Yeah.
It's a lovely way to describe it. Love
yes.
it. I mean, it's correct.
Yeah. I think the deaths back off of the goriness from the first one.
Oh, do you think so?
Well, the first one has that guy whose blood just drains out in the room that's spinning, and there's a lot more blood.
I think that, like,
but they do a lot of breaking through the skin.
That, I think, is really,
gory.
visceral.
Yeah. I guess because it just doesn't
especially,
look
like, the
super
ones
realistic.
in his legs, I think, like, that bothers me.
You don't like that kind of thing.
Like, it bothers.
What if it had been his feet? Bottom of his feet just cracking open.
I don't like it. But that's a great death.
Yeah.
I forget his name.
I don't know. So anyway, we're in a mental ward.
Yeah, we're in the mental ward.
With all these kids who are having the same dream.
Yes, about Freddy.
That is just their sexual repression.
Yes.
That they need to face.
Yes, so Kincaid says, oh great, now it's my dick that's killing me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Nancy, like, comes in, she's like this hotshot doctor, and there's the older doctor.
The guy that's pointless.
There's Neil, Dr. Neil.
Pointless guy.
Don't know why he's in this movie.
Unnecessary.
At all. I just don't know why it wasn't Nancy. There's the older woman doctor, Dr. Sims?
Yeah.
And she's, like, running the whole thing.
Still alive in real life.
And Neil's, like,
94 years old.
Put off by Nancy, but then, like, starts to believe her when she's like, look, this is what happened to me. She also finds Kristen, the house Kristen was working on, in Kristen's house.
Right.
And she's like, what the fuck? This is my house.
This is my house.
So then her and Kristen talk about it.
How long have you been seeing the house?
Yeah. So, like, I mean, I love Nancy Thompson in this. Spoiler alert, she dies and should not.
Keep the girl.
Keep the girl. Keep the girl.
And I'm sorry, but Nancy is our girl.
I just don't know why, like, Neil has all this storyline. Like, with the nun, who we find out to be Amanda Kruger. He gets that storyline. Why? He's helping Nancy's dad. Like,
why wouldn't Nancy help Nancy?
Like, Freddy's bones and, like, it gets really Catholic.
I would love to hear the explanation for what
I just don't know why none of that was Nancy. I know she can't be everywhere in the same time, but we don't need Neil.
Not at all.
He is unnecessary. If you need to kill off John Saxon, still fine, kill him off. But, like, have it be with Nancy.
We love Nancy.
Have it be with Nancy.
She's a delight.
She's wonderful in this movie.
Mouthful of teeth, but a great...
Like, mouthful of teeth.
Mouthful of teeth.
She's wonderful in this. And, like, I think she's better in this one than she is the first one.
I agree.
And then
she's a better actress, I think, at that
Neil,
point.
And I don't get it. I know Patricia Arquette is, like, the final girl.
And I'm not upset that she lives, but it could have been Patricia Arquette and Nancy fighting through Freddy Krueger together.
Because it's just like
Neil's not even
Kristen's
experiencing.
Like, whole thing at the end when she's, like, holding Nancy is really emotional. And I'm like, that's great, but, like, just let Nancy survive.
Just let her live.
It's so weird.
So how does Freddy Krueger come back to life in 3?
In 3, how does he come back in 3? He's just kind of there.
He's just there.
Right?
Nancy, I guess.
It's like the kids are still dreaming about him.
The kids are just dreaming about him. Because of the neighborhood. Or I don't even know if they're from the same place, all of them. It's like he's just sort of gotten out into the wild.
I think all of them are, though. Or I don't even know.
Yeah. What's incredible to me is that they've opened a mental institution just for these, like, 6 kids.
It's, like, literally those 6 kids.
Yeah. And it's attached to a church for some reason. And a restaurant or something? What's the other thing that it's attached to?
It's, like, the cemetery.
The cemetery.
So there's, like, the cemetery. And I think that the best Thai food in Springwood is nearby. But I don't think it's attached.
Right, and it's called something.
But it's like they go to a funeral when one of these kids dies, and then they go to work.
Back to work.
It's strange.
It's weird.
I'm not super hot on this. I like this movie.
It's a good movie.
I think it's good. It's very good.
Not crazy about Neil, but happy to have Nancy back. I think if Nancy had lived, it would be a totally different experience.
Yeah. So, like, for me in the whole series, the outliers for me are 3, 5, and 6. I just don't watch them that much. Because they're not my favorites. But I think 3 is vastly better than, like, 5 and 6.
And we watched 5. Okay. So now let's talk about 4.
4, which is my favorite, the Dream Master.
Dream Master.
This is the movie I think that Dream Warriors wanted to be.
Oh, really quick though, back to 2. The song at the end is the song that's sung by what sounds like just a 30s.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just like a lounge act.
Lounge act, kind of, or like a Torch classic singer.
Torch.
And we're like, And then it's Bing Crosby, so we're just a couple of idiots.
We're idiots.
Because he definitely was like, whoa, doing his thing.
Yeah. Have you ever seen a dream walking?
Exactly. Have you ever
Yeah. Very big.
Have you ever seen a dream talking? Well, I have. Anyway, it's like the bingiest. And I'm disappointed in us because me mostly.
We didn't talk like Dream Warriors and Dream Warriors, so they all have powers.
Right.
And that's disappointing to me.
Oh.
Because they get their powers and then they all die.
And they die anyway.
Immediately.
Yeah.
I just don't think there's a lot of payoff to
What
it.
are the powers? Nancy
so
can
Kristen
can
pull
people into dreams.
And then what's his name can walk, the wheelchair kid, the handicap
Oh yeah,
kid.
yeah.
He can walk, and then Taryn becomes like a strong badass bitch, and
they all just immediately
Kincaid is
die.
super strong.
Super strong
and then
tough.
Joey saves them all because he speaks.
Right.
Or he shouts at the end.
Uses
his voice as his power.
His voice is his power.
But I think it's all rather just disappointing.
It would be more exciting if it had worked
if
a
it
little
had just,
bit.
Yeah. Like if
just
maybe
a little bit.
If that started a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
And then you
so
have a few more scenes of that.
Working.
Because that's fun.
Yeah.
And I think that the Dream Master expands on that more and does a better job of it.
And that's 4.
So Kristen's back, but not Patricia Arquette. She did not want to do it.
Too bad.
She was like, I'm going to be an actress.
It would have been no offense to the person playing her, but it would have been a great movie with Patricia Arquette.
Tuesday night portrays
night.
Kristen. And forever when I was a kid, I did not I saw 4 before I saw 3, so I didn't realize that they were supposed to be the same character for a while.
Oh.
And then
I don't know
was
if I would
oh, okay.
Notice. I think I would have noticed by the time I identified the other characters, but I didn't jump right.
Yeah, so I knew. I'm like, oh, Kincaid and Joey are back, but I just did not put it together with Kristen because I was a dumb kid.
Kids. They're like prisons.
And Joey and Kincaid, those actors so they were, everyone that shot Dream Warriors was super close. And then when Patricia didn't come back and they heard Tuesday night, they kind of shunned her.
Oh.
She was really, I think she got closer with all the other new cast members, but Joey and Kincaid were hey, you. But I think they don't get along now.
Patricia Arquette's
I think
fault.
it was just.
No offense, Patricia Arquette.
Everyone was young and stupid. So.
You're so cool.
You're so cool.
You're so cool.
So basically it starts out Kincaid, Joey, and Kristen die.
Right.
This is a problem for people. They think it feels like 2 different movies.
Well, I think Kristen could have... she stuck around the longest, but she could have stuck around a little longer. Because then who does she pull in?
Alice.
Alice.
She pulls in Alice.
I think there's a squirrel.
Or shadows, something. So she pulls in Alice to her dream. Because, like, Freddy wants her to, and she doesn't want to, but she does it anyway. And then she feels really bad about it.
She's like, it was a mistake.
And then, like,
wake up.
Freddy tosses her in the fire, because, of course, there's fire, and...
Because they're in the basement of the house.
Yeah.
I think, right?
They're somewhere. They're in some boiler room.
Is it a boiler room?
It's always a boiler room. And so, while Kristen's burning up, Alice is, like, terrified. And while she's burning up, Kristen sends her dream power to Alice. But
which is the ability to pull in, right?
Yes. But before it
can reach to her.
To Alice, it
goes through Freddy.
And it kind of sits in Freddy for a minute, and then it shoots out to Alice. So she kind of absorbs
some of Freddy's powers.
Yes.
Which is absorbing
mostly,
of souls.
Yes. Because she takes on the characteristics of all her friends when they start dying.
Yes.
Because everyone
helps
dies.
her theoretically defeat Freddy, but it doesn't really help her.
No, you never really defeat Freddy.
Right. So, is this one the one where she draws the picture of herself? Alice?
No,
that's the next
5,
one.
yeah.
Okay.
This one has my favorite deaths. Even Rick's death, which is like a cop-out, I love.
How does Rick die? I don't remember.
He's fighting Freddy, but Freddy's invisible.
Oh, yeah.
So he starts out in the elevator. Like, it's like the bathroom stall turns into the elevator.
Just
and
the
then
low budget death.
It's supposed to, like, go all the way down. He's supposed to, like, keep going, and then they're, like, in the house, but they ran out of money for that, so they just...
Put him in a dojo.
Freddy. Yeah. And, I mean, it's cheesy and tacky, but it's just, like, it adds to this movie's charm for me. I love it so much.
I think it's a good low-budget way to kill somebody.
I think it makes sense for Rick, because we see him doing karate a lot.
Right. Karate. Have you seen The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt? You don't like it. John Hamm is in it, and he does karate the whole time. He goes, karate. It's very funny. He doesn't really do karate, but that's what he thinks he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, great deaths. Sheila's death is really great. Love Sheila.
I don't remember anybody's name. Which one's Sheila?
She's the one with the asthma.
Oh, yeah.
Who gets, like, the life sucked out of her.
Who dies in the water bed? Is that the
That's Joey. So
that's great.
That's Joey.
That's an incredible
That's, like, my favorite
and body reveal
ever. Because how the fuck did he get in that
You can't
water
explain
bed?
that.
I love it so much.
You have to acknowledge that it is a supernatural thing happening.
And it's just, like, in fucking sane.
Yeah.
I love it so much. It's so
Plus,
good.
he dies first almost in a great dream. Almost just dies in a great dream. Of, like, naked ladies.
Yeah.
One lady. Naked one singular lady in a waterbed.
Yeah, like the playmate.
Swimming.
Yeah. It's wonderful.
Yeah, it's good.
Fucking great.
I like ironic deaths that matter because of actions that were taken. And I feel in the film. And I think that happens in this.
Yeah, well, Debbie. Which is my favorite death in this movie.
What happens to Debbie?
She turns into a cockroach.
Oh, yeah.
She hates cockroaches.
It's gross. Because she kills one earlier.
The effects
and
on
like,
that.
okay, Debbie, lay off.
It still looks great.
It's good.
Like her floppy, meaty jelly arms fly off. It's fucking
Yeah.
It's so good.
It is good.
And I just love it.
And then she's in there with another actual cockroach.
Yeah.
So
she's like pretty much fully a cockroach besides her legs. And she like feels everything. She's completely aware of it. And I love that.
Stuck on the...
And then he smashes the roach motel that he has her in.
And all this juice comes out.
It's fucking great.
Cockroach juice.
There's the time loop. That's when he has Alice and Dan in the time loop.
Yeah. They keep getting into the truck.
The movie theater scene when she flies into the movie. It's just this. I just love this movie.
Yeah, it is good. It's good.
It's just
it's an enjoyable.
Ticks all my boxes.
Film.
I think it's better than the third one.
He pops out a little bit more. I like a pop out.
He's definitely MTV Freddy.
Yeah.
He's like, I mean, at this point he was on pajamas and he was a doll and, you know. All for kids.
All for the kids.
Yeah. Child murderer.
Child murderer.
Murderer.
Did she just come over here and just fart?
Yeah, he would. Yeah.
That's rude.
Bogey.
Don't just come over here and fart. Don't do it.
So part 4, when it was released, part 3 made $44 million. And then part
a big jump.
4, yeah.
Because
part 4 made $49 million.
Wow.
And until Freddy vs. Jason, it was like the biggest in the franchise.
I really like part 4. And I know part 5 isn't one that people like, but I didn't mind part 5.
I like part 5. And I really liked it on this rewatch a lot more than I ever have. It's just so jarring. It's so different from what came before it.
Yeah, I guess.
It's like, because it was so like MTV Freddy at his height, and then like, let's do this gothic horror movie with like pro-life undertones.
Right.
So it's just very different, and it's taken me a while to get used to that. But I really liked it. I love Alice. I just think she's the best.
And it's an origin story, right? You get the
full.
I mean, we've already
you get more of it, yeah.
But you like see the origin story
you see
unfold.
It like through Alice, I guess.
Through Alice, and
because since Heather didn't get it in part 3, Nancy,
right?
Then I guess give it to Alice in part 5.
And Dan comes back for a little bit.
Dan's back.
Spoiler alert. And I like her friends, even though none of them believe her, which is weird, because...
Yeah, no one believes her until, like, they start dying.
Until they're dying. And then they're
Mark
like, oh, this
believes
is
her,
really happening.
Mark is probably the quickest
to believe her.
What do you think of his death? The comic book.
Yeah. I just kept getting Take On Me stuck in my head.
Yeah, it's very Take On Me. His actual death, I just think, is kind of boring.
Dull.
He just kind of
paper
gets
cut to death
up
or something. It's a little bit weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets like torn up.
Yeah, and it's just like meh. Greta's death is pretty brutal.
Which one's Greta?
When he keeps feeding her.
Oh, yeah, that one is sad.
And then she comes back and he's like feeding her stomach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one's sad. That's harder to watch. Because he really force feeds her to the point of her like exploding.
And she like,
but she
and Alice can Alice is having visions of all these. And so, like, Alice opens the fridge and she sees all her food just kind of rot. And then Greta comes out from the side of the door.
And grabs her.
And she's trying to grab her out. And then Freddy comes in and grabs
in this
Greta,
perfectly silent house that she's in. And she's screaming, like, Dad, help me!
Because it's in a dream. Because
he can now just...
Alice is pregnant.
Right. So he can reach her.
He's reaching her through the baby's dreams.
Right. And there is some science there that is a little bit hard to get behind.
This is why when people complain about, like, oh, the rules, they didn't follow the rules in part 2, I'm just like, are there really any rules?
There are no rules. In part 5, she gets a sonograph that kind of electrocutes her. Isn't that the one?
Yeah.
Kind of electrocutes her, but it seems to just make particles of Freddy appear in her body, and then they go through her blood vessels into the baby.
Yeah. There's like a whole Freddy fetus.
Which
thing.
Looks quite a bit like Freddy.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a pretty good effect.
Yeah. What's the company name that we were laughing at when we were watching the special effects credits?
I don't know. It's Canby.
It was funny.
A lot of it's Canby.
It was like Womb.
Oh, Womb with a View.
Womb with a View.
Womb with a View.
Yeah.
/ like, I forget what else it was. But it used to, because you see like birth canal. I think you see you see lots of shots of the birth canal, and so in the special features or special effects credits section, it's Womb with a View, and that is just brilliant.
Yeah, it's funny.
Pretty pro-life. But like, it was 1989.
Yeah.
Jacob.
Although her brother or her friend Mark did suggest that she get an abortion.
And then we immediately have the conversation with Dan's parents. Where they're like, we'll take you're a nutbag, we're taking the baby.
Right. Why wouldn't you be like, you're a nutbag, you should abort the baby?
One of the things I've always wondered about this movie is, like, no one talks about what happened in the fourth one.
Right.
And, like, she has all these new friends, and I'm like, do you just not know what happened?
How? Weren't you all still going to school together?
Yeah. So that's always,
your friends
I've always
have died.
been like,
They must have known the people that she knew.
Yeah.
And her dad is just like, now that he's sober, he's lovely. But
yeah, I think that
he doesn't stand up for her at all.
He tries. He tries. Yeah.
Badly.
I mean, it's not. I'm not saying he succeeded.
No.
But he does
a bad job. But it's great that he's
considering what he was like in the fourth one, he could have easily been terrible and shamed her for this pregnancy.
Right. He was cool about the baby.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
And he's like there for her in this one. Yes. He's there everywhere. Right. He's like everywhere. Every time something happens, he's there.
He's there.
So I'm just like, oh, you weren't there in the fourth one. Jacob. What do you think of Jacob?
The
little kid.
He's a creeper. I don't know why, if you knew that was who you were going to birth, you would be like, I'm keeping this absolutely murderous child.
Right.
That kid's a psychopath. Is how I feel. But I guess maybe that's because Freddy was possessing him. So maybe...
Yeah.
Maybe he's less...
a psychopath, and then he turns into an infant, and then he gets absorbed into Alice.
Right. Well, first he turns into Freddy.
Yes, that's true.
And then an infant.
That's how he ends up.
Yeah.
That's how he ends up.
With his powers that Freddy gave him.
Yeah. It's all a bit convoluted.
It's a little... the storyline leaves something to be desired. I like that we get his mom again.
But it's like so gothic. I love where they are. Like that, like
I
the
love the
castle.
German castle.
Like I just love that. The set design, that like baby carriage, that pram.
Yeah, that terrifying pram.
I just like love the look of this movie.
Yeah, and the effects are good.
Yeah, the effects are good.
And
it was kind of a failure. After the height of the fourth one, this one made $21 million.
Oh, that's a dip.
Yeah.
That's less than half.
They took some time off.
And they came back with 6, which is worse.
Freddy's dead, yeah. People love 6. We'll see. I don't watch it so often. I haven't watched it in years, so when we watch it, we'll see if because I've gotten an appreciation for some of these.
Yeah. Number 3 of Friday the 13th.
Yeah. It's still not the best, but it's fine.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Not on purpose.
Yeah. Yeah, Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare will be our next one. We'll see. Breckin Meyer's in it.
Oh. I don't know who that is.
He's in Clueless.
Oh.
He's the stoner skateboarder kid.
Got it. I do know who that is. Steve Zahn.
Yeah. Who's in Dream Warriors?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He's
Steve
the
Zahn.
kid with the ventriloquist or the
Not really, obviously, but
he's not
kind of like him.
but it looks like him.
So yeah.
So
we rocketed
we
through.
tore through Nightmare on Elm Street. We have a few more, but
yeah, but we really did a good job. We had a movie marathon.
We did, because we were high. It was fun.
It was a good time.
It was wonderful.
Yeah, really had a great.
Yeah.
Are there any thoughts that you'd like to just sum up?
Definitely, I think that all of these are worth a watch.
Yeah, I like the Dream trilogy.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's really great.
But I really like the second one.
Yeah, I love the second one. I think the second one is so good.
It's really good. It's really good.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And that's it for us then.
Freddy's Dead next time.
Up next.